Idaho Living and eXp Realty, here to bring you November's market report. We're going to start with residential real estate, and in November we had 40 active listings. 4 of them were new listings. The remaining were carried over. 5 went under contract in November, and 5 actually closed and were sold in November. And as far as that breakdown goes, we had between $0 and $500,000. 44% of the market shares that, and that's increased in the last few months. So that's good news, especially for all of you first-time home buyers and people looking to purchase just a smaller piece of property. Between $500,000 and $800,000, that stayed pretty much consistent. 31% of the market share for November was in that category, and then the $800,000 plus category has gone down a little bit. 24% held that market share, which means that as far as our list to sales ratio, properties that were listed to selling has stayed pretty consistent, but it is in the higher range, 98%, with 8 months of inventory and 165 days on the market, which is not a huge increase from the last couple months, but definitely there's going to be more days on the market in these winter months. We see a comparison back into January and February, in those winter cold months of this year, and that's pretty consistent with that. Average sales price has slowly been on the increase since the beginning of the year. We're at $483,580 right now on residential properties.
All right, so land this year has been slower. Let's just state it. So when comparing this to previous months, it's just slow. But in November, we had 33 active listings. We only had 1 new listing for the entire month, which, I mean, during the winter months, we really only see 2 or 3 new listings. So it's not that much lower, but it did kind of shock me a little bit. Under contract by the end of the month, we had 5 that were still pending under contract. A couple of those have been pending for a couple of months here, so maybe we'll see those close soon. And sold listings, we had 3 land listings closed for the month of November. Our sales to list price ratio, so that's the comparison between the closing price, what it actually sold at, and the asking price. For land was 98%, which actually is a little bit higher than normal, which is surprising going into winter as well. And we do have a lot of months on inventory. We have 11 months of inventory on the market if we sold 3 transactions every single month. Now, our average days on market, just like residential, it's going up. We're going into the seasonal slowdown period. You know, November, December, January, February is kind of those winter cold months here in Idaho. And so that has gone up to 175. And our average sales price is floating around there at $87,000. But with land, that's so hard to track because we have $1 million lots, we have $10,000 lots, you know, so it just depends which ones got grabbed up and closed that month. So don't track that too much as if, oh, prices are going up or prices are going low, they're down on land. I really haven't seen much change as far as the sales price on land. I think it's stayed pretty stable.
Yeah, and we live in such a unique market. We have the Salmon River, we have the Lemhi River, we have properties that are 30 miles out of town, we have properties up in the hills, sagebrush, lots of different geographic things with land.
Off-grid?
Flat, hilly, rolling slopes, rocky farmland. So that really does vary on the price. So that's another reason why that average sales price
Big factor.
varies. Yeah. Yep.
So let's do a quick comparison, 2023 versus 2022. So I'm going to spread this open. Sorry about that. But in November of 2023, let's see, here for residential homes, looks like we had more new listings last year, but we had more pending this year, a couple actually, and we only closed 1 less transaction than last year of 2022.
And we had the same amount of active listings
Yes.
as well, which is interesting.
I thought we had more active listings on the market, so that is interesting compared to last year.
Another thing to point out is the fact that most people feel like because of interest rates that the market has changed, it's shifted, and it's slowed down, but this is just proof in the numbers that it's actually stayed exactly the same. So at least in our area where we're more rural and we have a lot, we're spread out, we're not right in the city, it hasn't affected us that much.
It really hasn't. The only thing I've noticed is we do have less buyers.
Correct.
So we're not getting as much showings. We're not getting as much action on each listing.
Heavy foot traffic.
Yeah. You're not seeing as many multiple offer situations, although I did have one recently. So they're still happening for those hot ticket items. But yeah, it's just a little slower on the buyer side, but they're still selling.
Yeah.
Looking at land for November, we do have actually less listings for land than we did November of last year, which was interesting. But November of last year, we had 11 new land listings. And I think that was a subdivision that came on the market.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna kind of throw a little curveball in there because it is the slower season when it comes to wintertime, snow on the ground, trying to get surveys done and that sort of thing. So just once again, weather related reasons, usually we're slower this time of year.
Yeah, so looking at our days on market, that's the biggest change for land from last year. Last year, this month, we only had 127 days on market. And this year, we're at 175.
That's quite a significant change.
Yeah, you're really seeing a lot of the land sit on the market for a while. Not as many closing, a little bit slower in that aspect. But, you know, average sales price, all of that is tracking. Even list to sales price ratio, it's only off by a couple points. We're a little bit higher actually this year. So I feel like our market's pretty stable.
Yeah, and another thing that's a little bit different and unique, we live in such a small community in comparison to maybe larger areas of the city, and we've had, I'd like to compare last year to this year for our commercial. We don't get a lot of commercial listings here in our area, just because we have a lot of folks that own a business and they own it for many years and keep it in the family, and there's not a lot of turnover, not a lot of commercial opportunities. And I just noticed that for November, we had 11 commercial active listings. And last year, we had 19.
Because we had that whole building.
Yeah, we did have one whole building that had several office spaces, and that's sold and we've moved on. But it's just interesting to point out that we had 19 last November and 11 this November, only one new. 208 is the average days in the market. And that's actually pretty good. 187 last year for our area. So just something notable to point out that from a business standpoint, there's a lot of opportunity in Lemhi County and in the Salmon area.
There's actually several businesses for sale, and they're good businesses for sale. So if you're interested in any of that, you need to contact us because you need to grab them up.
Yeah, it's just worthy to point out. Usually we do residential and land, real estate market updates and reports, but we also do farm and ranch. We do commercial, we can do industrial, we can do luxury. So we're here to help you with all of your real estate needs, whatever they are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad Rachel could join us for this video. If you've been tracking the channel, this is her first video with us, and she did awesome.
Maybe you can comment below. Tell me how I did. Give us a thumbs up, please.
Yeah. Anyways, we are so grateful you tuned into our channel. We wish you a very Merry Christmas or whatever holiday.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
All of them out there. And we hope you tune in for our upcoming property listings and our market report for December that comes in January. So take care out there.
Have a great day.